welcome to another episode of Bill and Kev's excellent Tubular Adventure, where we talk about stuff and things.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on that title again, but we're sticking with it for episode 1 and 2, I guess, for now.
Yeah, it's never gonna change, but oh god damn it! It is opening all those Chrome windows.
Are you having trouble with your computer right now?
No, I'm good. It's still recording.
Okay, as long as it's still recording, we're good.
Yeah.
So what's up, Kev?
To open up. Oh, not much. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good.
How's it going?
What do you feel like talking about today?
Well, Halloween's coming up, or depending on when I edit this episode, has just happened.
It's September 17th.
So Halloween's coming up.
In 6 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, they got candy at the grocery store.
Alright.
Have you not been getting your Reese's Pieces?
No, I haven't, actually. Don't really eat candy that much.
Yeah, neither do I. Because it makes me sick.
Yeah. So, what spooky, scary thing do you want to talk about today?
Well, I was thinking that we could talk about that one time when you locked me inside a closet.
Which time was that? I feel like that happened a lot.
I don't know, but I just enjoy the fact that, like, non-sarcastically, like 98% of my fall time is spent being scared of actual scarecrows.
Oh yeah.
Do you have that issue at all?
No, not really. I mean, there's like a couple scarecrows. I live way out in the woods, but there's not a lot of farming going on in my area, so like if I see a scarecrow, I'm running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's moving.
But I mean,
I
drive past that old I think it's called like the Indian Mills farm.
Oh,
the one in Marlton that's kind of near where we went to high school. I drive past that whenever I go to work. So that has a big gross scarecrow hanging out front. I think it has 2 of them. But well, I guess it's not even fall yet here. It's like still 90. I think it was 90 degrees outside today.
Yeah, it was 90 here today in Maine as well, which was a little ridiculous because I think this time of the year last year it was like snowing occasionally. So that's gonna start soon.
Oh God! So what have you been doing since we last recorded, other than drinking?
Well, I've been drinking, and I don't know. Oh, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 a lot.
How is that?
It's maybe the best game ever.
Yeah,
possibly. It's really. I just got to.
Again, no spoilers. Please,
yeah, no spoilers. I got to a big part in the game. I mean, spoilers. I am like. I want to say like probably 70 hours into the game, and I am 48% complete.
Yeah, I've heard like people are getting into like the over 200 hours playtimes to get 100% completion.
Yeah.
Which is crazy talk.
I don't even think I'll ever get 100% completion, but I'm gonna try. There's a lot of like side stuff to do that's
have you yet unlocked the Solid Snake Metal Gear Solid 1 costume? And by Metal Gear Solid 1 costume, I mean it's the polygon model from the PlayStation 1 game.
No, I haven't.
Because
haven't unlocked.
I've seen that screen cap, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I've had a couple small things spoiled for me, which I'm kind of disappointed about, because I've tried to keep my play experience spoiler-free, mostly.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing.
But just the fact that there are, like, unlockable characters, which I haven't unlocked anyone so far, besides the fact that you can, like, the random soldiers that you, like, Fulton extract from the world, you can use them in missions, which can be kind of laughable because they have various perks.
Yeah, you can do that in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Like, there are certain missions where you can't play as Snake. Like, during one of the last boss fights, there's a mission after that where you can, while Snake is fighting the boss, be like stand by the door and hold off the wave of soldiers that are trying to take out Snake. As one of the, like, you can just pick any of the soldiers from your combat unit and jump in as them and just mow down enemy soldiers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Peace Walker is a really cool game, especially for a handheld game. I can't believe like the scope of it, because Metal Gear Solid games are huge and ridiculous, and Peace Walker is huge and ridiculous, in a way that I can't believe they managed to cram it into a handheld game from like several years ago.
Yeah.
Even now, I think it would still be impressive. Speaking of Metal Gear, which we're going to talk about a lot, I imagine, on this podcast, just in general.
Yeah, probably.
I finished Metal Gear Solid 4 the other night. Already. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the fastest I've beaten. Because these games have taken me, to play the 5 Metal Gear games that I've played, has taken me like all a year. But Metal Gear Solid 4, it felt a little shorter than some of the other ones, but I plowed through it. That game was incredible. I feel like I don't want to say it was my outright favorite game from the series, but I right now I'm kind of leaning that way. Metal Gear Solid 3 is way up there, and I think that's generally considered the best, but for me, 4 was just such a great like send-off of the entire series, because it's the last game chronologically in the series.
Mm-hmm.
And
isn't
so
there like
good.
a 30-minute cutscene that like explains the entire Metal Gear Solid like storyline in it?
Dude, the cutscenes in that game are listen, I was like blown away in Metal Gear Solid 3 when, after I beat the final boss, it took like 45 minutes for the credits and cutscenes to be over. I believe it was about 2.5 hours of cutscenes after beating the final boss in Metal Gear Solid 4. I think about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Can you skip the cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 4?
You can skip them. You can skip them, and also, this is even better, you can pause them and pee.
Yes.
Because like, I don't want to have to play through a 40-hour game a whole other way through just to like find out what Ocelot said that one time. Granted, there's YouTube for that now, but still, like, the cutscenes are it would be really rough if they weren't so much fun in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that game fucking rules. There are some moments in that game that I would like almost peed myself with how ridiculous and great they were. Because it's like full on. Like, there's none of that like, oh, it's the Cold War, we're going to take ourselves kind of seriously bullshit from Metal Gear Solid 3. It's and that's doing a disservice to 3, because 3 is ridiculous, but 4 is like balls out crazy, and it's like doing the full Kojima. It's insane, and I love it.
Yeah. So are you going to be picking up Metal Gear Solid 5 this week then?
Well, what I'm playing right now, and this is another series we're going to talk about a lot, I got, when I bought the PS3, Demon's Souls. So I've been playing Demon's Souls, and it's adorable. Nice. It's so cute. It's like the baby version of Dark Souls. I'm serious. It's like, the graphics are so bad. It's like hideous.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a good looking game. It's like, because Dark Souls is a low budget game, but it's a game that uses its budget really smartly, and it looks really good. Mm-hmm. I think the graphics in the original Dark Souls are great.
Yeah, it still looks good.
It looks better than Dark Souls 2. Just
definitely.
because they were, they weren't overly ambitious, and they did everything that's in the game is really done with a lot of care.
Yeah, some of the bosses in Dark Souls 2 literally just look like a fart.
Yeah.
Which would be, interesting for a boss, but no, it's not supposed to be a fart. It just looks like one.
Well, that's another thing. The art direction in Dark Souls 1 is way better than 2. Like, all the designs are so memorable and great, and in Dark Souls 2, the only thing I really remember is, like, the giants, because they were really weird looking. But that was pretty much it. Like, everything else was just dudes in armor.
Yeah. The combat in Dark Souls 2 is super solid, though.
Yeah.
Like the PvP and all that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Did you see the new gameplay footage for Dark Souls 3?
Yes, I did. Well, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about, because in the vein of spooky, scary Halloween theme, which you're ridiculously doing in the middle of September,
it'll work out.
I hope it doesn't. I hope you get this posted well before October even starts.
Me too. I think I'm just gonna post this episode first. Hey guys, welcome to the Halloween episode. It's March 12th. Happy Saint Halloween.
Yeah, so Bloodborne just got DLC announced, and usually DLC makes me roll my eyes, but for Souls games, DLC is always like oh shit, I gotta get that.
Yeah, it's like a whole new game. Like,
yeah,
they do an amazing job.
Well, with Dark Souls 1 and 2, they add things to the game that really change the way, like new weapons and new spells, and like it alters the way that you would play the rest of the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer for the Bloodborne DLC, which is called The Old Hunters, gives me a boner, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like just the weapons, that buzzsaw thing, I literally was like, ooh! As soon as he like plugged the buzzsaw into his back.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
because you were a big Kirkhammer guy, right?
No, I was actually I started playing a strength build for like the first couple levels of the game. I think before I even got to Vicar Amelia, the big like deer lady monster.
Yeah.
Before her, because I did shit way out of order by accident, and I completely.
Oh yeah, me too.
I was wandering around forever because I had like fought the Witches of Hemwick and a bunch of other bosses before I did Vicar Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is Vicar Amelia killing her, like, changes it to nighttime, I think.
Yeah.
So I did a whole bunch of shit before doing that. So before I did that, I switched from, like, starting a character off as a strength build and moved it to a skill-built character. So I was Threaded Cane all the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I still use that on my... I have about probably like 4 or 5 characters that I actually play, and then like a bunch of ones I just gave up on. But my main guy, who I'm currently hunting down all the trophies with, is a straight skill and arcane build. And and at this point I'm only using the scythe pretty much.
The scythe is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's good.
I built him specifically, like, because I think I went through the game with a strength build, mainly just strength and skill, and I was using the cane, which was just dumb. I didn't know what I was doing, as all my first playthroughs go.
Well, like, my first playthroughs in a lot of Souls games where I was just like, I'm going to level up everything, and my characters were always terrible because I didn't have any strengths. Like,
I just make my guy, like,
awful.
I make my guy, like, decent with everything.
Yeah.
So that way I can test out things and see what I like. I made a character that was all blood tinge. That was awesome.
I heard that's really, really fun.
I was just rocking the rapier gun and the side-firing pirate pistol, the gangster pistol as I call it. Did you get that one?
Is that the one with like a lady's name?
Yeah, it's called like Evelyn or something like
Yes.
that. And when you shoot it, your guy points it sideways.
Yes, I did get Evelyn. I got Evelyn, like, I think way, way late in the game, to the point where I hadn't, like, Blood Tinge was, like, not a focus for me, and I just used the regular pistol because I wasn't yet at the point in Blood Tinge where the scaling for Evelyn was better than the regular pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to get to like 30.
I think it is 30
to actually be good.
But like I had Evelyn at like +5 or something because I wanted to use it, so I was like leveling it up. But my regular pistol was +9 and my threaded game was +10, so I just wanted to, get through the game, get the secret good ending where you turn into a slug. Spoilers.
I just recently did that. I didn't even know that was a thing until like a couple months ago.
Oh, the umbilical cord things?
Yeah.
How it changes the ending?
Yeah.
I got and consumed all of them in my first playthrough. And I say my first playthrough, I've only played through it once. But that's because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I only did one playthrough so far because I've been doing this Metal Gear nonsense that it was like a job I assigned to myself. Like, you have to play every Metal Gear Solid game now.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, well, guess what? I did it. Well, almost. I'm almost caught up. I have to play Ground Zeroes, which I got for free. It's on my It's on my PS4. It's kind of the tanker chapter to Metal Gear Solid 5's plant chapter.
Yeah, in between 5 and Peace Walker.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's like a little... I think it takes place almost immediately after Peace Walker, because Chico is still a child. Mm-hmm. There's like a 12-year-old that is like on your team. You Fulton him out. He's like a child soldier because child soldiers are a prevalent theme in Metal Gear Solid. But Chico's kidnapped and he's still a kid, and you have to rescue him in Ground Zero. So I jumped into that last night, because I was just like, I feel like trying this out because Demon Souls is so goddamn ugly. I want to look at something pretty, and it's very pretty. But after playing every Metal Gear Solid game, like, I'm so accustomed to the archaic controls that the modern controls of Ground Zeroes like did not compute with me. I couldn't figure it out. I kept like radioing when I was trying to shoot. And it's
really disorienting because it's crazy precise. It's like perfect, and it's just so weird because you're like, how come I can't do this thing? And it's because you're not like at the perfect angle. And in most games it would be like, yeah, whatever, you're not at the perfect angle, but it's possible to be at the perfect angle in this. So
well,
you just have to.
It's not even that; it's the button placement. It's really weird for me because I'm used to like the slowly evolving controls of the like 20-year-old Metal Gear Solid series. And I'm saying 20 years for Metal Gear Solid. That Metal Gear is almost 30 years old at this point.
Wow.
But the Metal Gear Solid games, like starting with Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation 1, the controls have like slowly been evolving and getting more complicated, and it completely changed. Like, all the systems are way different in Metal Gear Solid 5 and Ground Zeroes, and it threw me off, and I got killed like immediately. Like, I was wandering around for like 5 minutes, and like the new AI was like, I was like, haha, they can't see me, and the dude pulls out a flashlight and starts looking, and I'm like, oh shit. just shined a flashlight in my face. Damn.
Yeah, the AI is really good.
Yeah, I noticed.
Ground Zeroes,
they killed the shit out of me.
Yeah. MGS5 gets... Luckily, everyone's pretty stupid when the game starts out, but the difficulty gets ramped up pretty quickly.
I've heard that. I've heard it keeps escalating things and gives you, like, options for, like, side missions where you can, like, interrupt a shipment of helmets so that dudes don't have helmets. Like, I love that. And they did similar things in Peace Walker, but not like, extensively.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, I can't stand Kiefer Sutherland.
Really?
He's awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's even more hilarious when you get into MGS5 and you have Ocelot and, Snake and all the gruffly mulleted men in one room having a conversation, and it's recorded on a tape and you're listening to it afterwards and you're just like, I don't know who's talking. Is that... And then somebody will be like, Snake. Okay, so that one's Snake.
Right. Yeah, that's
just
rough.
A bunch of...
Because I'd recognize... I'd recognize Kaz's voice, because I think his voice actor is the same as in Are You Alright? What the fuck was that?
Oh yeah, I cleared my throat into my mic, so sorry.
That was really loud. Yeah, but I'd recognize Kaz's voice actor. I don't know if Ocelot's voice actor is the same, but, like, I don't know why. Do you have any idea why David Hayter is not in Metal Gear Solid 5?
I have no idea.
I'm going to look this up real quick. Because...
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to talk about how much I love Metal Gear Solid 5 and say all the spoilers. Oh no. No, it's super great. I feel like David Hayter might have been doing something else. Was the issue.
I'm just searching David Hayter for Metal Gear Solid 5, and it's all, like, very old news articles. Saying that he isn't in the game, or that he might be in it. Let's see. David Hayter has been known as the voice of Snake ever since the release. Blah 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 blah. I guess it looks like I think what it is they just replaced David Hayter because Kiefer Sutherland is cast to play Snake in the upcoming, probably not anymore upcoming, Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh god, why? That would be horrible.
I know.
Why not Kurt Russell?
Well, Kurt Russell's an old grandpa now, Kevin. But
Snake's an old grandpa.
Well, okay, good point. I mean, if they did a Metal Gear Solid movie and Kurt Russell didn't play Big Boss, like Old Man Big Boss, I'd be really pissed off.
Or make Kurt Russell, like solid as Snake or something. Just put him in the movie.
One of the older versions of Big Boss clones or whatever. Yeah. How do you know about Solidus? Is Solidus in Metal Gear Solid 5? He better not be.
No. I know about the Metal Gear mythos. The only game that I've played is Metal Gear Solid 3.
And you only played a bit of that, right?
Well, I played it back on the PS2 days, but I'm trying to, I never had it, so I never got to, play through the whole thing. And then I got it for the 3DS, and it's practically unplayable, but I'll beat it.
I'm sorry, I was just distracted for a second there.
Were you looking at boobs or something?
Kind of. Lauren just came into the room and crawled, underneath. I guess thinking that this was a video recording, crawled across the room behind me, sneakily, and got something out of her dresser, and then crawled back out and left.
So she knows we're talking about Metal Gear, I guess. She was trying to be Snake.
Yeah, she was being Snakeman, the man Snake who fights against the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You said you played Metal Gear Solid 3 a bit, and it was not jiving with you, right?
No. The original, the game, I love it. It's impossible to play on the 3DS. It's pretty much impossible. It's an awesome port. It looks amazing.
I've heard it looks better than the HD
super
collection.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just the controls are insufferable. I'll get through it eventually, though.
Even with the Circle Pad Pro?
Yeah, I have the new 3DS.
So
it has all that stuff built into it.
With that all built into it, it asks you if you're using the Circle Pad Pro, right?
Yeah.
Did you say
and
yes?
I say yes.
And it's still weird?
It's impossible. It's so difficult to play. I'll get used to it.
I really want to get it and try it. Just because
I'll bring you my copy when I come home in the winter, and you can play it.
I'd like
really
to try
difficult.
playing it, because I heard the default controls, when you're not using the Circle Pad Pro, is like the face buttons are used for the camera, and then all of the face buttons are the D-pad, which is on the same side as the analog stick, which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
That sounds awful. Like, I heard that and I was like, oh, I'm not going to buy this.
Yeah.
I'll wait until I have a new 3DS.
Yeah. It's really rough.
I believe
but,
it.
yeah, besides Metal Gear, not much. Did you hear that story about how Louis C.K. apparently masturbates in front of female comedians?
No? What the...
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Okay. Did you hear about... We've just been talking about this, me and my friends. So how this came up, that I don't even know the guy's name. He played some guy named Kevin in the League, which is why this was funny, because they were mocking me about it, because my name's Kevin. But apparently he made up this entire story about how he was in, like, one of the towers during 9/11, and when the first tower got hit, like, had to rush out of the tower and was, like, so traumatized that he moved all the way to LA to become a stand-up comedian, and that was his, like, claim to fame, was, like, surviving 9/11, and apparently it's complete bullshit.
This is a fictional character, though, right?
No, it's real. This is a real guy. This was a story that he told.
Oh, an actual comedian.
Yeah.
Used 9/11 as, like, his life story, and it turns out it wasn't true.
Yeah, and it apparently took, like, 14 years for us to find this out.
Was this guy Carlos Mencia?
No.
Oh.
I wish. I'm pretty sure Carlos Mencia got, like, his head chopped off and was in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, by Kanye West. I saw that episode of South Park.
But anyway, so that happened, and then we just went through, like, a whole Gawker, like, tour de force, and came across this article that apparently Louis C.K. On multiple occasions has, like, masturbated on women, like other female comedians that he's on tour with, like, will trap them in his hotel room and, like, jerk off on them.
That's awful. I don't know, like,
it's really...
I don't know. I'm not gonna, like... I haven't heard anything about this, so I can't, like, say whether or not this is a horrible thing or a bad joke someone's making, or both.
Yeah. Our only sources have been, like, internet tabloids, so we don't know if it's true yet either.
Because I'm a big fan of Louis C.K. I'd hate for to find out that he's a scary masturbate.
Would you be surprised, though? Like, in all honesty? Would it surprise you if that was true?
It kind of would, actually. I always kind of, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I always kind of viewed Louis C.K. as being very crude, but also very kind of smart.
Like a wholesome family man?
No, not at all. But just being a little bit more evolved than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if this did happen, it was definitely, like, back in the day, like, a while ago.
Well, here's the thing. And when you
it was back when he was married and, like, probably doing drugs and, you know, was unhappy with his life.
Maybe. I mean, that doesn't excuse just, like, hey...
No, of course not.
I'm gonna jerk off on you. But when you first said that, the immediate picture that popped into my head was that while on tour with female comedians, he will go to their comedy show, sit in the front row, and just masturbate at them as his own way of heckling, which is way funnier, I think.
That's probably what happened. And if it's not what happened, it's what I'm going to picture what happened.
Well, that's awful.
Especially at the famous Tig Notaro stand-up when she was saying that she had cancer, and he's just in the front row like, yeah, tell me you got cancer.
Oh my god. I haven't seen that Tig stand-up. Is that good?
It's really good.
I really like Tig a lot, but I haven't seen that
it was only audio recorded, because the club that she was performing at doesn't allow video recording.
Oh, okay.
But Netflix they made a documentary about it, apparently.
Oh, okay. That's what it is on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched that a couple nights ago. It was really good. So you should check that out.
Yeah, Tig's awesome. I'm a big fan. Her and Maria Bamford, I believe. Who's been on Louis C.K.'s show. Maria Bamford, I think.
What does she look like?
She's a very skinny, small, blonde-haired lady who does a lot of impressions of her parents. It's very weird and neurotic and has kind of a weird voice. She's hilarious. Yeah. I like her. She does like voice work for some of the cartoon Hangover stuff, like Bravest Warriors. She does voices on.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you ever watch Bravest Warriors?
Yeah, I was the one that introduced.
Oh my god, you Warriors. Are. Yeah, you were the one who first showed me that. God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I love Bravest Warriors.
I do too. I'm pretty excited because a toy company, like an independent toy company that I'm a big fan of, called 3A Toys. They're basically like a painter named Ashley Wood. He's a comic artist. He actually did the Metal Gear Solid comics. He basically has his own toy company. It's like a very small toy company, but they just make toys of whatever the hell he wants, which is really weird. But they sometimes get licenses, and they got the license for Bravest Warriors somehow. Awesome. And they're putting up pre-orders on the 30th of this month for Catbug. So I'm getting me a fucking Catbug.
How big is it going to be?
I have no idea. Well, it's going to be in like the 12-inch scale, so it'll probably be like 4 or 5 inches tall.
That's adorable.
It's a little like vinyl posable Catbug.
That's so cute.
They do like hipster toys. They're really cool though.
Yeah, I love Catbug.
Yeah.
I just love Catbug's actually voiced by like a 4-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame because it like puts an expiration date on Bravest Warriors. Is like that kid hits puberty, it's like that show's over.
No, they can just make Catbug go through like awkward puberty.
They kind of did an episode about that. Yeah. Do you remember that one? Where like
no, was it the most? I haven't watched like the most recent season all the way through yet.
Oh, dude, you know what? I just did that recently, and it's incredible. And there's like a red herring episode where you think something horrible is going to happen, and then, oh no, it's just a Catbug origin story out of fucking nowhere. And it's like, what?
Bravest Warriors!
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show.
Yeah. I think my favorite is still Gas Powered Stick.
Gas Powered Stick's pretty great. Basically, any time Impossible Bear is talking, I'm happy. I love Impossible Bear.
You know what I just watched recently?
What's that?
I have Hulu, and
oh man, are you watching a lot of wrestling on Hulu? Because that's whenever I go over to Steve's house, Steve and I just watch wrestling on Hulu, and it's fucking great.
I can't watch wrestling. I've never been. The next time I'm like about to be blackout drunk, I will put some wrestling on, but I can't do it.
Dude, they're like, well, here's the thing. WWE, their main show Raw, is pretty good. It's okay right now. There's some fun characters, but all the really good characters are on their like Little League show called NXT, which is basically like where they try out like goofball characters, There's a tag team duo called the Vaudevillains, and they are like a pair of old-timey strongmen who like do like pugilist poses and like do squats in the arena and have like curly mustaches and wear like those one-strap unitards. They're
Do they have the
awesome.
giant like circular dumbbells?
No, they don't. I've never seen them like use those, but I feel like that's going to be a thing they do pretty soon. And it like their hype music is like old timey piano music, and it's like in black and white, and they just come out and like shake each other's hands and do squats at each other. That's
fantastic.
And they just, I think they just won the NXT Tag Team Championship during SummerSlam. So I'm a big fan of the Vaudevillains. I hope they go far in wrestling. But I'm sorry to interrupt you with talk of wrestling. What were you watching on Hulu?
Well, real quick, I would, just to continue on wrestling, I would totally love wrestling if it was just, like, the intros, like, like, if it was just, like, 45 minutes of, like, these ridiculous characters, like, walking out, and they're, like, them just flexing in the middle of the ring for, like, 5 minutes while everybody goes apeshit. It's when the actual, like, wrestling starts that I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
I don't know. There are some pretty good like acrobatic performers in the game right now. I'm trying to think of like some of their names. There's a guy named Tyler Breeze who's like supposed to be a total dickhead character. He's basically his character is he's Zoolander. So he's like a model, and he has like a big fur-covered selfie stick that he beats people up with, and he's constantly like just posing and taking selfies all the time. So he's like,
that's amazing.
He's a total shithead character, and he's like supposed to be. He's like a villain, but whenever he starts wrestling, he's really fucking good, and like he's does some like really weird, innovative, like twisty turny moves that I don't know the names of because I'm not that big of a wrestling fan. But it makes me like what I've seen of it recently really makes me want to get back into wrestling.
Like actually start wrestling yourself?
No, like watching it.
Are you going to join a amateur wrestling league, Bill?
You know what? I think I am.
You probably should.
Yeah, I already have.
I just
my persona. I'm going to be a dinosaur themed dapper gentleman named Dino Sir. That's going to be my wrestling. I'm copywriting that now. It's recorded now, so now no one can steal Dino Sir from me.
Are you gonna have like one of those ridiculous like T-Rex heads on?
Maybe at first, because I'll be mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like a villain that people love to hate.
I'll be like Kane. People won't know who I am. Kevin, what were you watching on Hulu?
I forget. No. No, I recently watched, they put like all of Adult Swim up on Hulu, which is awesome.
That is
awesome. And Hannah, a couple months ago, was like super sick and like having fever dreams, so I was like, I'm gonna put Aqua Teen Hunger Force on. And she watched like the entire thing though and loved it, and I was like, this is fantastic. But I put on Aqua Teen Show, if you remember that.
What's Aqua Teen Show? Is that the...
Do you remember when they like canceled Aqua Teen and then brought it back for one season?
Yeah, but it was called... What was it called?
It was called Aqua Teen Show.
No, but there was another time where it came back and it was called like Water Street Food Patrol or something.
I don't remember that. That might have been like one episode or something.
Keep talking about it. I'm gonna look this shit up.
Yeah, so I watched Aqua Teen Show and just remembering the hilarity because they had all these like promos for it where like the animation was like super gritty and raw, and like that's how the intro starts out. It has like this whole new badass intro and everything, and then it just starts and it's the exact same show.
Yeah.
Just like the biggest middle finger. And that just reminded me of going to see the Aqua Teen movie, which was probably the most painful, like, what felt like 8 hours of my life.
Yeah, ever. I remember hating the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie a lot.
Yeah, people were like booing in the theater, weren't they?
I don't remember. I just remember I I went to see it at a time where I couldn't have, like, I shouldn't have. I should have been studying for like an exam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I couldn't enjoy the movie. I've gone back and watched it, and I'm like, this is really funny, but going to see it in theaters was like a really stressful, bad time for me.
Yeah.
Um,
I just remember everyone like checked out about 30 minutes into the movie. Like around the like fourth Ghost of Christmas Future Past monologue, everyone was like, "We're done.
yeah.
Let it end."
Like, I don't think I don't know what any of us were expecting, but I feel like we were both hoping and dreading that it would just be an hour and a half long episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and that's exactly what it was.
Which it was. Yeah.
Because Aqua Teen Hunger Force is normally 12 minutes long, and that's like the perfect length for that.
Yeah. And if you watch it for more than like 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure you go clinically insane.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah, without like without Schooly D coming in and like wrapping you back into sanity every 12 minutes.
Yeah. But the soundtrack for that movie was awesome.
Oh yeah, I bought that soundtrack because it had the opening. I stole
it from you.
It had the opening by. Oh, is that where it is? Okay.
Oh no, it's probably gone now.
Yeah,
but...
well, it probably got lost in the move, but yeah, it had that great opening song by Mastodon, like.
Yeah.
I'll cut you up with a linoleum knife, I think was it, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I watched some Aqua Teen, and then before that I watched all of Adventure Time for the first time ever, because I haven't had cable.
Wait. What did you?
I watched all of Adventure Time.
Oh man,
for the first time ever.
Adventure Time is really good.
Yeah, the fact that entire show has like a single arc, which is amazing.
Yeah.
That it's like actually confirmed that it's post-apocalyptic Earth.
Yeah. I feel like that was an Ice King centric episode, wasn't it? Where you actually see like him going insane.
The bombs dropping.
Yeah. Like when he's a normal human. And I think he meets up with Marceline when she's like a little girl, like right after the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of wacky shit.
Raises her. Yeah. Yeah, that show is amazeballs. But that's basically all I've been doing besides school. And trying to find something decent to watch on Netflix, which there really isn't. They added the most recent season of Doctor Who, which was kind of okay.
Let's talk about Doctor Who for a second, because I don't know if I'll ever go back to watching Doctor Who.
After this most recent season?
No. I stopped. I think the last thing I watched was Angels in Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen like the final season of Matt Smith.
It's good.
And you know what? But it wasn't the fact that like Rory and Amy were killed off, kind of.
Yeah, because it was done really. I feel like the show should have just like ended there for a while.
Like, as that show after season 5, which is the first Matt Smith season, I feel like it just I kind of lost interest in it. I don't know what it was about it. I feel like Steve Moffat... a lot of people give Steve Moffat shit, because that show gets a lot of hate. Like, basically everything other than all of the David Tennant stuff, people hate.
I really like Matt Smith.
I love Matt Smith.
I like David Tennant too, but Matt Smith is probably my favorite.
Same. Yeah, I really like Matt Smith a lot too. But I feel like I was getting sick of it. And, like... Doctor Who as a show is made up entirely of plot holes. Like, nothing makes sense. Like, it's really hard to complain about plot holes in Doctor Who because, like, everything is a plot hole.
Yeah.
It's constructed entirely of holes.
It's a nice piece of Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it's like a lacy Swiss cheese
on a crusty British cracker.
Yeah, nothing makes any sense. But I feel like it was getting a little too dark and broody. It stopped being whimsical and fun, and that kind of just killed it for me. Like, because that was the thing, is Matt Smith was so silly and just like happy that it made it gave the show this really kind of like light air. And that was when I got into Doctor Who. So
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here's the name changes for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It changed to Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1 for no reason, and then later changed to and this is a quote, Aqua Teen something, whatever.
God bless the 2000s Adult Swim.
Yeah.
They just did not give a fuck.
Yeah, they really didn't. Do you remember when they put the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie on Adult Swim a week before it came out for no reason? Yeah. They were like, why would we do this? Because we're fucking crazy. But then it turned out it was April Fool's Day, which I realized as it was coming on. I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. Yeah. This is April 1st. What the hell's going on? And they showed like the first 30 seconds of the movie before the movie then shrunk down into a picture within a picture. And it was just in the middle of an episode of Futurama. And it was shown like 1 inch by 1 inch in the corner of the biggest TV. Like, huge TVs. It was like, it was the whole movie, and it played through commercials. It was still there. But it was so tiny, and there was no sound. But they did show the entire movie.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Do you remember, I think it was like the season 4 DVD that when you hit play all, it just played every single episode at the exact same time?
Yeah, it played them all on the screen. I think that was starting on the season 1 DVD they did that.
No, I looked it up recently because
really?
I was trying to find a video of it on YouTube because I was like telling somebody about it and they were like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I need to show you this so you can know the horror that I experienced.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of horror, Halloween's coming up.
No, it's not, Kevin. You're a liar.
Dude, everything is pumpkin flavored right now, okay?
Yeah, which means it could be August.
It very may well be.
Yeah, I think it is. So what's up? What's scary? What do you want to talk about that's scary?
I want to talk about spooky games. Because you play spooky games.
I do. I haven't in a bit, but I mean, the big spooky thing I'm excited about is the Bloodborne expansion.
Oh, yeah.
That's
not really spooky, though.
I don't know. I find the Souls games are some of the most terrifying video games I've ever played, I think. Just from a sheer, stress and, worrying about what's around the corner perspective. Those games are scary as shit. They're basically survival horror games. And Ludwig, I think it's Ludwig, the first hunter.
The first hunter.
Yeah, that's what that big disgusting monster is in the trailer, I think.
Yeah.
Because, all the old hunters are now, giant, horrible monsters.
Yeah. I wonder if the old hunters are, become, the new great ones. Or whatever.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it seems like that's the direction it's heading in. Because you become a great one at the end. Right?
Yeah, you become a great one. You turn into a little sluggy slug.
Yeah, it's like you're a baby Cthulhu, and it's like, oh my god, my brain.
What I'm really excited about is it looks like they're making Beasthood an actual thing.
It is an actual thing. You can see it. You're transformed.
Yeah. But it's never... Is it a thing in the game right now?
I don't think so.
Like, you can't turn into a werewolf, right?
No, you can't turn into anything. I forget, because, like any good From Software game, it's incredibly cryptic. And I remember reading up on what, like, your beasthood stat actually did. I don't remember, but it was like a weird kind of, like... It kind of affected damage scaling a little bit, I think, on certain weapons. And I think the only
thing... It increases your damage, but makes you die faster.
Yeah, and I think the only thing it really affected was, like, because, you got the Beast Blood pellet that made you, like... It said it was an item that you could use that, like, I thought would transform me, but it didn't do anything. And that's... You have to have the Beast Claw weapon equipped, because it's the only thing that's, like, fast enough to actually do the, like, beasthood, which at the base game is just damage scaling, essentially. It's like damage scaling combo meters, essentially, and the Beast Claw is the only weapon that can take advantage of that, I think. Maybe somebody's figured out another way to do it.
The Blades of Mercy can as well. It's any weapon that attacks quickly, I think, because basically you take the beast blood pellet or whatever, and that, like, starts your beast meter, and then you just need to, like, build it up, and then it'll go down slowly depending on what armor you're wearing too. You can wear, like, certain armors that'll make it go down slower and stuff like that.
Okay.
So. And it's also, like, a resistance buff, so I think if you, like, buff your resistances, it goes down slower as well.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. But did you ever get the Beast Claw weapons?
No, because I think that's a what is it, a Chalice Dungeon thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I barely scratched the surface of Chalice Dungeons.
That's what I've been doing recently. My most recent playthrough is going through all the Chalice Dungeons, and they are fucking hard.
I did notice that, like, because I know the Chalice Dungeons don't scale with New Game Plus.
Yeah, like, they just get really hard.
They don't get harder, they just are hard already. And I remember I did, like, some Chalice Dungeons. I think I did, like, the first couple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I did, like, because they're... I'm sorry, I'm blanking a little bit. There are, like, the different tombstones, and each one of those you can set up a different chalice. And each chalice you can get, like a upper, middle, and lower level dungeon, right?
Yeah. So there are 4 chalices that you get just from playing through the game, pretty much. And it's for all the main, like, areas, like the churches or whatever. So there's for each, like, church you get a chalice. And then when you go into the Chalice Dungeon, for beating the Chalice Dungeon, you'll get, like, a leveled up version of that chalice, and then you can just keep going.
Yeah.
And so I'm at the point where I have, like, 30-something chalices, and I haven't even used all of them. Because sometimes when you're going through a Chalice Dungeon, you'll get, like, 5 chalices or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's all randomly generated.
Kind of. That's what I thought at first, but it's pretty much, like, I think the bosses you get might be random, but the layouts of the dungeons are pretty much the same. But I think, like, the enemy placement and items.
Yeah, the items that you get and the placement of enemies is random. The room layout is randomized within a set structure, from my understanding.
Yeah. So it took me forever to find those beast claws, but I finally got them.
Is it good? Is it a good weapon?
It's good if you're a strength character. So basically the Blades of Mercy are for skill-based characters that want dual wield, and then the beast claws are for strength-based characters that want dual wield.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Blades of Mercy are a fucking badass weapon.
Yeah, I love those things.
Yeah, that was like, I think Blades of Mercy were my secondary weapon through the entire game, and then I got the Scythe in New Game Plus, and I'm like, okay, this is my new secondary weapon. Because this is just cool.
Yeah, the Scythe is amazing. I just use it as the scythe. Like, I don't even use the sword. I just run around scything people.
The sword mode's slower, isn't it?
I think the initial attack is, but then like once you start comboing, it's good to go. I think it's pretty much like the same speed as the transformed cleavers.
Okay, yeah. But the problem
like,
with the transformed cleavers is that their hitboxes are terrible.
Yeah, and this thing's hitbox is really good. But the transformed scythe is just awesome.
Well, that's the thing, is its hitboxes are ridiculous. It's just like hits everything in a circle around you.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Its moveset's really good too. Like its heavy attacks are really cool.
Yeah. And I recently got a special gemstone or bloodstone or whatever they're called from one of the Chalice dungeons that does electricity damage without taking away all your physical damage. So when you put like an element on a weapon, it's usually like, oh, you're doing fire damage now, so you're doing 0 physical damage.
Yeah.
This does electricity but keeps your physical damage, so it just stacks electricity damage on top of it.
So it's like you just have that, like, the electric paper, the bolt paper on it all the time?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's awesome.
That sounds ridiculous.
It's amazing. Yeah, I love it. It went from doing like 300 damage to like 500. Because it's also my character that has arcane. So.
Oh, right. So your electric damage is scaled really high too, right?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
It's pretty dope.
Well, I guess this is a decent place to stop. We're hitting about an hour.
But we never talked about Halloween.
We'll talk about Halloween when it's actually close to Halloween.
It's always Halloween in my heart.
I agree, actually. You wouldn't believe how upset Lauren was when we went to... Lauren is my fiance, by the way. We went to Target. I'm not telling you, you dickhead. I'm telling, whoever's listening.
So no one?
Yeah, so no one. I'm telling no one. We went to Target to get like Halloween decorations, because that's basically like Christmas for her when Halloween decorations come out, so she can go buy spooky shit. And
wait, buy like spooky shit or buy like your bird stuff?
I use the word spooky a lot in my regular language, and now it's like gets confusing because I have a bird with the same name. I'm stupid, basically. To buy frightening objects, not for a bird. So we went to Target, and the seasonal section had been replaced entirely with a gigantic Star Wars section that was completely empty. Everything had been bought except for a couple of red and black Star Wars bicycles with those huge tires for riding on the beach. That was all that was there. Oh, and a watercolor set. Like an activity set.
The moon rover tires?
Yeah.
Those like big... Yeah, those things are ridiculous.
Yeah, so we went to the Star Wars
I kind of want one.
Yeah, I feel like I would never actually ever use it, ever.
Yeah. I feel like it wouldn't go anywhere. Like, I would try to pedal and I would just fall over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Yeah. So there's no Star Wars stuff? Was there Halloween stuff?
No, there was no Halloween stuff, because the Halloween stuff was replaced with a Star Wars section, and everybody bought all the Star Wars shit, so there was nothing there.
You gotta step your game up, Target.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Should have had that Halloween shit out back in July. July 4th ends, Halloween begins. That's how America works.
Well, that's how you work, obviously, since it's September 17th and you're like, Halloween.
Halloween! I'm just one of those, like, automated ghost things that you hang up in your home.
Just that little plastic light-up box with the switch on it, and that holds like a D battery that just vibrates and makes noises. And you throw a sheet over it.
You gotta come up to Maine for fall, because it is the fallest fall ever, because Just white people being white people. It's fantastic. We had kind of went apple picking, and there was just like this folk band just like playing in the middle of a field with like just a bunch of people sitting around with blankets around their shoulders, sipping cider, and I was just like,
oh my god, that sounds.
I just want to.
That sounds
horrible.
Too much for me. That's too white for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just Labrador retrievers off leash running around.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, you chose to live there, so now you gotta live there.
I'm stuck here. I didn't choose to live here.
Well, you're still stuck.
I'm just
there.
stuck now.
You bitch.
You bitch.
You bitch. So, what else is up? Anything?
Yeah, bitch. What?
What else is going on? Anything good to talk about, or are we done?
I thought we were ending the episode.
Yeah, let's end it.
Halloween! Goodbye.
Bye. Is that it?
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, bitch.
Should I stop recording? Or should I keep recording?
I think we should probably just say you bitch for like 5 minutes.
I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.